karmic cycle. We're going to have a quick look at the energy. And I am here every Friday AM, as well as during the week. I'll give you a heads up if I'm coming live, and I'll do another check-in. Now, we do have the Twin Flame Members Room, which I am going to be allocating coaching days in that room. I had been coming to it every Friday, but we're having to balance some things out and shift some things about. So I'm going to be putting dates. I'm going to be going into the Twin Flame Room because we're swapping the schedule around a little bit. Also, so we can do the integration work. So you guys in the members room will get posts, but you're also going to get bi-monthly check-ins. And then I can get onto the Earth, Air, Fire, Water for the Twin Flames, and I can do the extension reads as well. Okay, let's have a look at the situation of where it stands. We're going to pull some cards for the karmic cycle. That can be a mother, father, work-related dynamic. A lot of creativity is coming through in the masculines, and it's creative tension. It's co-creative karma. Let's have a look at the card for the karmic. Oh, Lord. Okay. I do feel... I always get worried when I see that for the karmic. I'm like, oh, well, it could be good, but yeah, no, not from the way the card's coming out. Okay, you do tend to find, hi Hayley, the karmic cycle can tend to be very codependent in nature. And look, you just relate to it differently the further that you ascend. And it's not that they're necessarily bad people. 9 times out of 10. They're usually quite codependent, so to speak. So it's patterns, okay? They're patterns. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Hayley. I'm going to pinch your daughter. She's lovely. Love her to bits. I'm not looking so fly. I've had so much ascension symptoms. So my compassion to all of you who have been having ascension symptoms lately. They're not nice. They're on the daily at the moment. Okay, let's have a look at masculines. Now, I do feel, look, what I'm saying is, like, I do read for various energies. I read for those of you in twin flame connections. I read for those of you who are, you know, dealing with a masculine that's with the twin and has, you know, a karmic connection that they're dealing with, and that can be co-parenting things to that degree. And yes, with Mars and Cancer, those themes can come up. Now, because we're going into Mercury retrograde, a lot of you will have communication with your twins coming up, as well as other people. And sometimes you can tend to find, especially for those of you that are single, you're dealing with a twin, more than likely this time frame, this month moving into July, is where you will hear from them. And synchronistically, you may also hear from other people that you had connections to. This can be friendship groups. It can also be your twin, as well as other love interests that you might have had in your lifetime. You may be going down memory lane. It can feel a little bit like a Venus retrograde. And that's due to the fact that we have Juno in Sagittarius and retrograde. So, you know, a little bit like Venus retrograde, you'll be looking at the good, the bad, and the ugly. We're potentially by this month, moving into next month, maybe looking at the uglier polarities, but it doesn't mean to say that that's going to be a negative thing with your masculine. If you guys are in a higher octane and you've learned lessons, you'll just move beyond it. But it is a renegotiation, so to speak. I am seeing that a lot of the masculines that are in karmic connections at the moment are seeing the writing on the wall, seeing that maybe they hadn't been owning their power and maybe allowing themselves to be stuck. Now, the karmic is in magician energy, which is a bit concerning, only because the crowning energy is walking in truth in reverse. So this is manipulation, okay? This is, okay, how can I play my cards correctly to get what I want due to the fact that there's codependency? This can be manipulation due to health, finances, children, family, you name it, it can be coming up. But they're looking at the power that they've had. Masculines are, at the moment, 3D, but will be moving into the 5D very shortly, and they can already be gradually feeling that. So initially it will be where they're, they're very 3D, they're getting things done, potentially not even, really totally getting ascension symptoms. But it is going to be coming as Jupiter shifts into the house of Pisces, and they're going to be looking at their hopes and dreams. They're going to be looking at where, if they want those things, how they didn't own their power, and how it's directly impacting their psychology. And we're really wavering at the moment between huge empathy and, and I really hate using this word, and an egoistic, I don't want to say narcissism, but it's like we're swinging between two polarities. 1 minute you can be in your embodiment, and that's for all of us. Very understanding, very compassionate, wanting to do a good deed and putting it forward, then to another extremity, and we're trying to find that balance. And I did really say this is the month to be using what was it, Jasper can handle the yin and yang, and I've been using Jasper to get into that equilibrium where it's in the yin and yang of give and take, but you're doing enough on the 3D and the 5D, and you've got to have time to get grounded and to get outside, and that's for all of you guys. I'm seeing with the Magician energy coming through for the Karmics, there is an element of manipulation, and it's a bit like, the zebra not changing its stripes, sometimes pausing, sometimes coming back for a rerun of those tests and trying things differently, but still automatically not understanding that a pattern has been observed, and the pattern, this individual does have power to observe that pattern does not resonate with them. It's their control and it's their power. Now, overall, what I'm seeing is masculines were not seeing that they were cheating themselves. Masculine was not seeing that maybe the individuals they were mixing with weren't in that give and take frequency. They also felt as though that connection was sort of jinxed. But it wasn't that the connection was jinxed, it was that the individuals were very codependent. So their viewpoint they're taking is they weren't seeing those things. They felt lost and didn't understand why this energy was so heavy. They didn't understand why things weren't flowing successfully. And there can be to show us the shadow when we're in a karmic cycle, we generally have a lot of things that go wrong. We generally can feel very burdened and overwhelmed. And it's to show us a different way of, what would the word be? Observing and coming to an acceptance, but also not actually doing work for other people. There's give and take in all connections. And if it's not, one person's doing all the work, and at some point somebody's going to feel quite cheated in that connection. Now, I do feel between the karmic and the masculine there may have been betrayals. Now, this might have been, and I'm going to I'll pull a chakra card on it. We do have this card of laziness, promiscuity, infidelities, overindulgences, addictions. Whatever that was, it was very codependent in nature. Let's see what chakra comes up. See, I'm shuffling them here, not making it up. Beautiful morning. They're purging it. Laziness, promiscuity. It's the sacral chakra. Sacral chakra? Yes, sacral chakra, which is, again, it's not motivating them. So if there was attachment to money, substance, manipulation, if there was energy and aggression and anger and toxicity, no, they didn't want it. If there was codependency financially, no, they're not doing it. They're doing it, and I'm noticing the fives again. It's really funny because when I was out and about yesterday, I was in between two buildings, and it was such an oxymoron viewing this polarity, and it was a church cafe and a justice department. And sometimes these changes, we're willing to do things, number 5, in a sense of transformation and change, providing there's a change. But when there's no change, that comes disillusionment, comes detachment and acceptance. And I feel masculines are really coming to terms with that it was not a give and take situation. It is not a give and take situation. And the other human beings, people, places, things, were not working in truth. And maybe, you know, it had its glitter. It had its glisten, right? But it doesn't anymore. Cool. Okay, so what is the karmic doing here? Okay, these karmic individuals really do know quite well what they're doing. They're very experienced at the way they deal with circumstances. They have developed this over the years to get what they want out of situations. Okay? They also have come to a space where they hold their cards close to their chest, but they hide and then bring this to the surface without warning. They're really having a tactical approach about what they're going to do. And this is in relation to the masculine, okay? They feel when they try something that doesn't work, they go back to the table and they replan and then they move forward. But they do feel they can't wait too long. And that's due to the fact that there is hunger, okay? There's sacral chakra energy here. There's hunger that they are wanting to grab the power back. But they do feel they're delaying the inevitable and they do feel as though this person is slipping through their fingers. I feel overall they may have an attachment to what balance is. And balance in their minds is if this person is enabling them in some shape or fashion, then to them everything is okay and they get very comfortable. They do feel to a degree, and for some it could be due to family, due to children, or the way they are perceiving things, that they are innocent in the situation when it came to this connection. But I'm also feeling there could be legalities that do come up for these individuals. And this can be maybe pushing the person into a legal scenario ship in order to get what they're wanting. We're going to pull a clarifier on that. What is this about, please? Oh, we'll pull those. What is this legal situation with the karmics and the masculines? This can be something to do with their connection with the masculine. It can also be to do with transport, movement, and home. There may be something in relation to a car, but I'm also feeling it's to do with what the masculine intends to do. They're trying to stop it, right? They're trying to prevent it. But this could be communication coming in. This could be divorces. This could be houses that they shared. Again, because we have the card of innocence here, it could be in relation to children. But there is some sense of communication coming in to prevent the masculine, to make the masculine come back and to do something that they're wanting the masculine to do. I'm looking at the card with the journey, and it's literally looking to the past, and they feel if they do such, it will bring something to balance and justice. But again, it's magician energy with the person not walking their truth. So it does seem manipulative. Let's have a look. I don't think anything would surprise them. I think they're aware of how the karmics react. But they're really confused why this isn't working anymore. They're really confused why the way things used to work before, they're not working anymore, and it is causing some frustration. So the value systems, it's like this could be due to a marriage, due to a commitment, maybe even trying to change their demeanor, and maybe even using other people to get through to this person. But this person is creating space and not allowing that to come in. It's not working. Okay. This is causing a lot of anger. It's causing a lot of anger, and it's causing disruptions. And it's a lesson that hasn't been learnt, so they continue to try different things, but it's the same pattern, but it's the same thing they're using. This is forcing them to, because they're not being enabled by this, some of them are going to have to return to work. Some of them are actually having to do spiritual work. Some of them may actually go to a place of employment. And this can be a surprise, but again, I don't know why I'm picking this. Let me pull another card. It feels like they're trying to surprise the other individual, but it's not in a way that, yeah, masculines are expecting. They're trying to bring the romance back, but I don't think it's here. I think this individual may accidentally embarrass themselves. This can be turning up at a place that they socialise, especially for those. And I feel there's a pocket group in this section here that are in separation to the karmic. And I feel I'm connecting into those individuals. I feel the karmic actually doing something that's really going to embarrass themselves. I do feel that there may be in their logic coming from a place of, hey, there's a reason I'm doing this, but I don't directly think it's going to work. And I do feel there could be a lot of gossip surrounding this and embarrassment. I'm hearing the term not knowing their place and overstepping the mark of unhealthy boundaries. And it does, I feel this oozing of embarrassment. Yeah. Now, those that are in this connection, again, this is a very pushy scenario. I do feel this person maybe has a social crowd very, very separate to the masculines. I do feel that they're kind of pulled in different directions of errands and requirements. And so it's actually showing the masculines how they are so very different to this individual. And they're really not buying into it. They really do feel as though, how do I put it? They're pretending to be somebody that they're not, and they feel it's a lot of control. They don't feel like, initially when they met this individual, they felt that they were very similar, and that, you know, it was what it was, so to speak. This could have been through work or a social crowd, but it's not feeling the same anymore. The luster isn't there. Some are having an anniversary coming up. But I'm also seeing like a work event or a social event. This could be Mother's Day for some of them, wherever you are in the world. But it feels a social event's coming up, but this person is not interested. This person is looking at it like, why are we always doing things with your family? And why can't I see my friends? And I just feel a total separation with the two individuals. I don't feel they're seeing eye to eye. How is masculine going to relate to that? They're taking their power back. They feel very controlled. I mean, over here on masculine side, they're very, very tuned into you at the moment. And again, as I mentioned, Jupiter's going to move into the house of Pisces. I do feel the psychic connection between twin flame with the twin flames is going to be very heightened. If they are going through a very challenging stage, especially with Mars being in Cancer, I feel you guys are really going to have to white light yourself, especially in the next few days. Because Jupiter being in the house of Pisces is very psychic in nature. So when you're tuning into people, and this is advice coming from a psychic clairvoyant medium, you can think on these people, but you must take time to actually decipher between what's your energy and what's theirs. If you can't, and you know they're surrounding themselves with people and you can feel their vibration, it's very low, you can start embodying their energy, especially if you're tuning into a person that is very toxic, the karmic IE, and you know that individual. You know, it goes up in tier levels, and I spend very little time thinking about it these days due to the fact that it's not my business. It's also, I don't want that person in my energy. I have no lineage or connection to that individual. It's their karma. Do you know what I mean? So white lighting that, but also knowing how these people's mindsets are. If the individual is accidentally unhealthy or whatever that be, you're going to channel that energy and it's going to affect your aura. So you're permission basing it as to what comes in. Is if it does come in and you think on it, tune out of it right away and tune out of their energy, and it's going to protect your aura. So I do feel with the masculines at the moment, they have a very, very psychic connection with you, and they are thinking about you quite a bit at the moment, but they're also getting a lot of psychic downloads. They could be having dream states of loved ones that are passed over. And many times through the awakening process, you can actually find that if we are not listening collectively, our loved ones will come through in channelings and dreams to give us the messages, so that they're doing the work on us away from our ego. So they're really focusing on feeling like they need to just walk away from things, feeling like you know, while they're with this individual, they could be losing financially, emotionally, physically, spiritually. So it's not healthy. All right, it's not healthy. They also feel as though they're ready to make healthy choices for themselves, and maybe they both changed. And sometimes we can, you know, two individuals when you're together, you can meet at a time when you are very similar, but we all collectively change. And if you can change together, or be non-codependent and allow each party to change, you both will move with each other with that, and it won't affect the compass. But in a codependent connection, thanks Leonix, in a codependent connection, those situations can become quite troublesome because the other person's evolving, the other person doesn't want them to. So because masculine is healing at the moment and very focused on their soul path, their enlightenment, their balance, their foundation, their truth, this isn't resonating with them, and they're becoming very angry and unmotivated by individuals that simply don't resonate with them. Oh, thanks, Stel. Yeah, so they're facing their wounds, they're facing their beliefs, they're looking at having to change all of this and to leave that situation, because they see that these individuals in their life, as much as they may have love and light for them, and that can be especially if they have children, it does become complicated. But at the same time, they're looking at where life has become unstable and trying to balance it. And if it means they have to lose cash, they're willing to lose cash for sanity, because what they are focused on is a give and take connection that really resonates with them. Okay, how are they feeling and what actions? Oh, they're mad. That was spooky. Okay, let's have a look. What's going down? Okay, I'm actually seeing a fight that's going to play out between the two parties. I think in a way you may feel it. This is purging toxicity. I feel that this group and this group over here, the karmics and the masculines, are going to have a very large fight, and they've had it. I hope it's not going to be bad, but it feels bad. It feels aggressive in nature. I feel you will feel that psychic download, because what I'm guided to is this. And I do feel this can be an altercation physically. Verbal and physical, which doesn't make sense, Mars and Cancer. And their psychology. They're like, look, they're looking at the past and it was exhausting. They did not know what to do. They're just like, look, I can't do this. Sorry, I'm resisting this. It's not attractive anymore. And I do feel they're getting up and they're walking away. Yep, there you go. No more third party. Nope. I'm channeling their energy, and it's to the point they won't even look at them. They won't look, they won't talk, they won't speak. And I think it's when you've raised your vibration to a point of filthy anger, you're like, don't touch me, don't talk to me, leave me alone. And I feel them being almost like cutting people off. Yeah. Third eye, enough is enough. Yeah. But when they contact and unhealthy boundaries are not respected, this is where they get to. How many times do I have to tell you? It takes two to tango, right? You know, it really does. Sometimes if there's like mother, father, children, however it be, because we all have had karmic cycles. you know, you will try to do your very best for those dynamics, but they can, with very toxic energies, and I would say these are the ones I'm channeling at the moment, you can't work with a person that is maybe psychologically not so well. And this is how they're getting to it. It's affected their psychology, it's affected their health, and they're no longer giving permission to that. Yeah, they might have seen the best, and they're very kind. They're kind, but they're not stupid. They're like, no, just because I'm kind, I'm gentle, I'm friendly, I'm caring. They want to return to that, but they also know that that was not going to last forever because they were taken advantage of. And they're still that individual. They still have love in their heart, especially for tribe. But if they're being, how do I put it? If they're being mistreated and it's affecting the circular effect, they're stepping back for their own sanity and health, because they know it's out of their control. So I do feel them really, really stepping away from areas and being very independent and recovering. Okay? Like, nope. Nope. I don't even want him after he had a karmic. We've all had a karmic. We've all had a karmic. There's not one person on the planet that would be a virgin. And if anything, what I say is, do you know what? If that gave you experience and I get to have all the rewards, I'm down for that. I get the blessings. I said to Devine, if I had known that I was going to get the experience guru, I would have said, I'll see you in 20 years, buddy. Fruit first, basket later, ladies. I do a little dance. I'm like, I sent you away for training. This is great. No, it's really nice. I think, look, I think the one beautiful thing about Twin Flame Path is initially you feel you know everything you would and wouldn't do. You really do. You're like, I can't go on. I can't do that anymore. I laugh at myself now. How many times I thought I was in a grave. And then you get to a space where you're going, I think my heart blew up in the chest. Surely there's no more pieces left. And it just, the funny thing is, through the hurt comes the love. It's true. So you can have huge disputes in family. And you can, and weird analogy, and it was an epiphany I had yesterday, and it was about the heart chakra, and it was the Kardashians. And, you know, after her and her husband separated and he had his transition and then the birthday party was coming up, you know, and I'm not saying I love or hate them. I'm giving it as an example. And, you know, to meet in the middle, the family went through a hard time when it came to the partner's transition. But regardless of whatever the circumstance is, yes, like Celine Dion's song, can beauty come out of the ashes? Yes, it can. Because you've shredded the ego away. You've moved through the pain. You've had the art of appreciation. And it's not one of us is perfect. And a lot of times when we have a projection to another person, it's because we feel if we did that, nobody would love us and accept us. And can we be loved and acceptable within our flaws? I'm by far perfect. I have done shady things in my life. I have done things that I'm absolutely not proud of. I've done things I'm very proud of. And I am lovable. I'm lovable with makeup, without makeup. I love myself. But not from an ego point of view, from being, hey, it's okay if you're having a bad day. So, yes, you can. And I think the beautiful thing in my twin flame path is over the 25 years is that we have been arch enemies. We have been best friends. We have moved on and had lives and given our energy to those connections and done the best we could. Can I say that my twin was not in love with people? No, I can't. Can I say I was not in love with people? No, I can't. But was it soul pure love? Probably not at my best. I now can give my best because I have learnt to love myself. So it's not necessarily that the karmics or that soulmates or any of that was bad. It's that when we know better, we do better. So we're evolving through this twin flame path. So every human being I've had in my life, I have been incredibly grateful for. And both twins really should be really grateful for the people that we had in our life, because they wouldn't have made us who we are today. And that's really the jerks too, trust me. And there have been some jerks. But I've had wonderful people in my life. I've had real jerks in my life. But I'm blessed to have had them because they've made me a better person. But then again, you know, in the twin flame path, when we are going through karmic cycles, you're actually not with the karmic. You're not even with the feminine or the masculine, because you're psychologically healing. You're not present, so nobody's having a connection. We're having what the connection we're actually having is one with a memory and a wound. So if there's substance abuse or anything to that degree, you're physically not present. That's it. Bless the jerks. I've been a jerk. I told one of my clients yesterday the way I embodied the masculine energy at a point, and I was a bitch. Oh. I remember going to a club and somebody had asked me for, and I threw it on the floor. I was so dirty at, you know, and that's so nasty. That's not who I am now. But I embodied this anger relating to how males would treat me. And it's not every male on the planet does that. But that was the ego I embodied at that time through a pain body experience. I had resent. I was like reading fairy tale books when I was a little girl. And then what you have on the 3D, when you learn about relationships, 9 times out of 10 men aren't ready to settle down. And when women trap men to settle down, they're going to rebel and they will form an ill opinion about women. All right. He has no love for his karmic. They are roommates now. Yeah. And look, it's not, I had a chat to one of the karmics years ago, and she says, he didn't love me. And I said, but he didn't love himself. It's not personal. And look, I had to take ownership of where I was, my part in my connection with my twin flame path. If you can see a person's struggling and they need a friend, maybe we need to be their friend at that point. Maybe you need to step back and do your own healing, but it's because we want needs. We want what we want now. And it's not necessarily I was going into that saying, hey, I want that right now, but the shadow, the veil was there and I didn't see certain things. And when you step back from a painting and you observe something, you make healthier choices. So it can still be that there's love there. It's just through circumstances in our life, we can attract certain people in our life. But it doesn't mean to say that those people aren't or weren't important and that the gratefulness isn't going to be there. So yes, there I was coaching the karmic and saying, no, you were important, but we need to place importance on ourselves. It's never a competition. It's not a competition. Well, you know, I've been married. Masculine's never been married. I wanted kids. He didn't want kids. He had 5 kids. I had 1. Very interesting twin flame path I've had. And my twin flame path is not just my twin. My twin flame path is me. My twin flame path is also the people I met in my life and the circumstances I continue to experience and grow. And you'll find that your energy that's coming up at the moment, you're going to have to face your shadow because, you know, sometimes we're wanting a surety. A surety that everything's going to be okay and everything will be okay. Everything is going to be in perfect alignment. That's why I say I find it, the more I ascend and the more I grow spiritually, when people say, is it going to get better? And it's, you have to take the mindset that everything is better right now. It is better right now. Do we have a roof over our head? Do we have food? Can we find something great in our day and celebrate our life and know that that love is still there in our hearts? And when it's ripe, it's coming. It's so. Do you know what I mean? And it will naturally just come towards you. What I realised was a lot of times the one thing I hadn't done was let go. And we wonder what that means. And the letting go was making peace with it because I was going through my 7 stages of healing. Once I had, which Twin and I were laughing about it, I was like, he would naturally just turn up in my life because I was ready. So that was universe actually being really kind to me, is I think I probably would have been a real cow. or maybe not have been as open and receptive because I was healing. So I'm more relevant in that now. And it's not that my twin flame path defines me any longer. It's part of my living way of being as a human being. It's okay. When I know better, I do better. If I need to release something, whoever that be, and I acknowledge I can't do something, I accept who I am and I forgive myself. I'm better at doing those things now. That's what I will say. Yeah, I still purge. I still get all the ascensions you guys get. The numbers I only get when I'm tuning into you guys. I don't need them because I've embodied the numbers inside myself. The animal totems are part of my living day. I am the animal totem energy. When I am seeing it, I'm already thinking it before I've seen it. And that's why when you get the number synchronicities and the bombardment of it, you need to learn to embody it and be part of that, be part of the environment as energy. Any questions before I love you and leave you? I do have sessions open at the moment on the website, which is group sessions up to 20 people max. We do have one of the sessions I think is this coming Monday, and the next one is on the 10th, which will be Thursday. It'll be Sunday evening for America. And I always say America because I do have a lot of clients over there. But there's only one person doing the 10th yet. So if you guys do want to join that, it's going to be twice a month at this point. If it's not as popular, I'll drop it down to once a month. But the amount of times I'm jumping into the twin flame room, I did initially say it was going to be once a month, which I am doing a lot more. I'm going to have 2 key dates and then start doing things in all the tier levels to spread myself around for time management. But it won't be every single week because it was initially going to be, you know, a catch up for me to coach you, and it has turned into double dipping. So what I'm going to do is put, and I'm also going to put regular posts, and maybe just jump on like I used to before and have chats to you so I can get the regular content back up and out. What did you want to know, sweet? You're on the 10th. Otherwise, we'll just get to chat, right? But I'm sure more will come through. But it's basically a group session. Will Jason leave his house in May? I feel he already has. I feel he already has, Mel P. Let's have a look. As for the, how do you put it, dealing with challenges, yes. Most are having a shift from this point. It'll be through this month, through next month, massive shifts. So yes, you guys in your aura are going to feel it. And it's unique. Whenever I've seen my reconciliation energy, sometimes I've had communication in the cycle between Juno retrograde and direct. Most reconciliations will come through between now and I would say August. But definitely contact coming in anywhere between now and August. But it's heaviest now. It's really a lot of movement. It's how you're going to deal with it when you get into it. A lot of you can feel, oh, you know, it's really strange. That does come to a point where you're feeling quite healed, that you're cured, that maybe it was never real. Then you have the reconnection and you kind of can fall into a little bit of ego that everything's okay and you don't resonate with the collective in the readings, but you need to listen subliminally. You will have blockages and you will have triggers. It's not a walk in the park. It's not easy when you reconcile because you have to face shadow. And 9 times out of 10, masculine's further ahead than you. I'm telling you, you'll be having all these old triggers because you had this shit happen. All right? You got to come to terms with it. Being able to, it's normal for things to come up. But I'm telling you how many times I was like, going over old ground, feeling anxious is so normal. Forgive yourselves for it. And one time my twin came into the room and he's like, babe, what's wrong? And I'm like, I'm having a friggin' panic attack because something was coming up energetically every 10 minutes. Every 10 minutes. I laughed at myself, but I was like, breathe, like you're giving birth, man. And I was ever so patient with the karmics. And then I realised it didn't have to be. They're not a me issue. You know, Elizabeth. Isn't it joy? Still, it's the next chapter. It keeps moving. It keeps changing. You keep ascending. New things come up. New situations. And the rebuild. So, look. This is here now. It's here now. So it tends to be we start going back to the old way of being of, okay, you know, is there going to be cheating? Is this and that going to happen? And it's like, well, if they do, they're cheating themselves and you would leave. Because if you have learnt that, it's not about you. If they sabotage themselves, you've given them a golden ticket, which is it's 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 20th. You reach your tether in your crown chakra and you're like, I'm going to be focusing on me and I'm not going to bother chasing you, following you, controlling you, because what the... I've got enough problems. I run a business. I have a life. If everything isn't on it and it goes to the ground, you can't say you didn't try. That's it. You move forward. You can't say you didn't try. I don't live now through that being my enemy because we have been through so much crap. No joke. Of our own doing, of other people's interference, that you grow. You find peace with it. You have love to all people, but you just know that when you go into it, those triggers initially do come up a lot. I won't lie to you. You'll be petrified. You'll be elated and excited and feeling like you won a golden ticket. But then other times the triggers are going to come up every 10 minutes. You've got to work on it. It's not like a magic wand and all that memory goes. No, you need to face your shadow. If you don't, you're not ready. And it will be difficult. You know, counselling even. Yes, you can go to counselling. But unless you can let go, you won't let them in. You won't let love live. This is your joint energy. Sacral chakra is your joint energy. It's anger, aggression, passion, lust, greed, envy. It's promiscuity. It's letting your guard down and letting people walk over you. It's the higher octane, the lower octane. So this would be the higher and the lower and the higher, right? This is the healthy give and take. Pouring and filling your cup. Giving and taking, being receptive and receiving, and doing the correct thing with your energy. If you can do that, and you know that other people don't have control, you need to control yourself. Shadow work is what comes up in your ego when you're pointing the finger at your masculine. Look at it inside yourself. You know, if you're thinking, oh, they're in love with this, they're in love with that, what's it saying in your shadow? Do you feel you're replaceable? Do you feel you're not worth it? It's shadow work. You've got to do the shadow work. Any questions? I have reduced the prices for the private sessions on the website. We've got Skype. I'm going to add Messenger because I have noticed a few people have wanted Messenger via Facebook. So at the moment we have telephone, we have Skype, we have pre-recorded video, email, which very rarely gets used. I have the group coaching sessions twice a month, and I also have one for after the eclipse. So if you do want to have the guided meditation post-eclipse and you do want the support and something massively came up, I do have that there. So go and grab it because, you know, if nobody turns up, yeah, and if we do have only one or two, I'm going to change the clause in it. At the moment, I've got it at 2-hour sessions. If there is smaller than one person, I'll reduce it to a half-hour session. But if it is the whole group of you, it will be at the total price, okay? But at the moment, I'll leave it as is. But I'll put that in there so we know. Otherwise, we can, we've got the 2 twin flame coaching sessions, which is we can chat through Skype. We were on there the other day when we did the Juno retrograde for the twin flames, because it is part of your twin flame journey with Juno retrograding in the house of Sagittarius. We did the connection there. We'll touch base with that in the next session. And I don't know how many we had. We had 11 members, and we just shared experiences. We did private reads. So come through and join. Thanks, Chris. And if you want that support of the eclipse, you know, we can have a chat about what's happening in the collective. We can ask some, you know, questions about, you know, what those things are that come up for us spiritually. And the good thing is in the private sessions, you know, if you've got something else that's coming up spiritually, you can get advice from the other members from twin flame points of view, because we're all in different stages of our journey. And that's why the twin flame room is nice. You know, sometimes I just jump in and I'll have a quick chat to you. But from the structured point of view, what I'm going to do is commit to 2 times a month to come into the twin flame room. And then we've got the second tier, which is the pre-release content, and then the extension rates. But I will keep it quite fluid and random there so that we're not double dipping too much. Okay? Love and light, guys. Take care, and I will see you next week. And those of you who are joining me for the group session on Monday, I'll see you then.